Hi everyone, I'm Kat Carly from the Hub Austin.
And I'm Brenda Laurent from Reach for Success.
And together we are Mama Kat and Gigi. And today we're here to talk about anxiety management, tips and tricks for all ages.
Absolutely. So, I heard something not too long ago that anxiety was actually fear that something was going to happen in your future that you would not be able to overcome. And depression was actually fear that something had already happened in your past that you would not be able to overcome. And so it's interesting because we create that point of view, right? So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But one of the things that I want to kind of emphasize here is that we all want control of our past, our present, and our future, right? Whether you're a kid or you're a big kid or you're an adult or you're a senior adult, whatever. We all want control. Control is kind of one of those elusive things that the older you get, the more you realize it's really
an illusion.
It's really an illusion, right? But see our Giving Choices videos if you want to help your children feel like they're in more control of their future so they have more flexibility.
So one thing that we want to talk about is setting realistic goals. Sometimes, especially kids, they might look around and see what other kids are doing, and that might make them feel anxious. So sitting down with them and helping them come up with some realistic goals that they can achieve can help reduce their anxiety levels. Another thing that we like to do is to anchor new things or new concepts that we're introducing with something they know. So let's say your child is struggling with learning their letters. Maybe you introduce 3 new letters, but you include them in with one letter that they already know. So that kind of boosts their confidence. It makes them feel good that they already know one of the things that they're learning about. And another thing that we like to say, and that I learned from Gigi, is when kids say, "I can't do that," we say, "I can't do that yet." And that's a really good way to kind of give them an internal voice about, hey, not everybody's born knowing how to do every single little thing, and I will learn that thing in the future, so it's okay if I don't know it right now.
That was really powerful for our 6-year-olds that we were teaching this year. Really kind of turned things around for them because they look around the room and they think, oh, everybody can do that but me. It's interesting because everybody in the room is struggling with that thing. Maybe one kid can do it, right? But our brains automatically say, oh, everybody can do it but me. That's been a powerful thing. You know they've got it when they start to repeat it back to you. The next thing we kind of want to work over is, look at what happens to the body whenever you are anxious. So one of the very first things that I'm always saying to Kat is, hey, you forgot to breathe, right? Ooh, we forgot that, right? So we hold our breath a lot, especially when we're anxious. So we do want to breathe, but we want to breathe from the belly, because when you are breathing way up in the top of the chest, that signals the whole body that you are under stress. So being able to take 3 deep cleansing breaths from the belly really helps the whole body to relax and sends a different signal, and that signal is, hey, I am not under attack. Okay, so one of the easiest things we can do, especially if we sit down to work, is say, hey, let's all relax our shoulders, right? Mama Kat and I are trying to, we like to hold ours up there as earrings a lot of times. So we have to kind of remind each other to do that. Relax the jaw. Yawning is a wonderful thing. I'm never offended when someone's yawning in my class, because that's really, I know, one of the things that we need to do to release stress in our body. We can stress out our fingers, because when we go into that fight or flight response, automatically the body puts those fists together, right? And so when you stretch out those fingers, it sends the signal that you are not under stress again. And then we want to ground our feet. We want them to be flat on the ground. So there's just a few little tips and tricks for noticing what your body is doing to send the brain a signal that anxiety is a choice, and right now we choose not to be anxious.
So So would this be a good thing for parents to do throughout the day, their school day, if they find that their kids are kind of getting wound up and having a hard time?
Absolutely throughout the school day, but I like to actually start the first session with it. Thanks for joining me. Let's all drop into our bodies, right? Let's all drop in and say, hey, I want to put this brain in the best learning mode it can do. And so maybe again after lunch, right? And then any time that you see that it's an issue.
Good idea. So one other thing that we like to talk about to reduce anxiety is just voicing your fears. So sometimes when we say our fears out loud, that can kind of let our brain hear what we're really saying, and we can kind of go, oh, that's not as scary as I thought it was in my mind.
It's kind of silly.
Yes.
Because it's not even true.
Yeah,
Right?
sometimes it is kind of silly. So just saying those things out loud. Another thing is talking about things that we appreciate or things that bring us joy. So if you feel like you're kind of getting caught in turmoil or your mind's kind of turning into a tornado of all the things you're feeling anxious about, just saying, oh, I really appreciate these people in my life or these activities, and just repeating them to yourself until you can kind of calm those anxiety and fears down.
Absolutely, because sometimes we're anxious about things that may or may not occur in the future, right?
Yes.
And we don't really know whether those things are going to happen. Most of us don't have a crystal ball, right?
And a lot of them don't happen.
And most of them don't happen, right?
Right.
And so I like to say that sometimes this is actually a choice. Now, if you just plant a little seed in the brain, it likes to put it on the hamster wheel and make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But sometimes you just have to say, hey, we don't know whether that thing in the future is going to be true or not. And so if thinking it's going to be true makes you anxious and sad or depressed, and thinking that it's not true makes you happy and joyful, well, hey, you actually get to choose. You're in charge of your brain. It's not the other way around, right?
Great advice. If you enjoyed watching our video, click our subscribe button below, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!